Hello my friends and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master SP Deck Challenge Deck Overviews Part 6 of this series. So, before I begin, please like, share, and subscribe and consider ringing the notification bell for either regular content, for the content that you enjoy watching the most, or for all of my content if you really want to help me out. You can click the bell and either select personalized for the former or all for the latter. Okay, now let's go into solo mode. And I was, I still do have the big C virus that everyone's, stressing about. But I mean, as long as I'm not feeling like bad, like I don't really think like I really need to let it get to me, like, because then like you're just basically letting it win, and you don't want to let these kind of things win, especially when there's other things you can be doing to help take your mind off of it. I mean, sure, like when you feel really bad and when the symptoms are really bad. I mean, I know like sometimes symptoms are minor, sometimes symptoms are really bad. Hopefully it doesn't once again get to that point. Maybe it was really bad at first, but it quickly subsided and now it's barely anything. Like it's barely getting to me at all, like physically or mentally, really. Maybe that's because I had before, I'm not sure, but I think it really was just that bad. Or maybe my body just knows how to fight it better. I don't know what the reason is. I'm just happy about it. So, so I don't want to let it get to me for too long. Like, I was just a little bit busy yesterday, and maybe like I could have used a little bit of a break. That like now I don't really need. So let's get into this now. I think I believe I did this opponent's deck the last, yeah, I remember doing that yesterday, so now I'm on this one. So this is the 5th one for context, and I'm doing my deck today. So my deck is with, it's another Gaia deck, man. Another blackluster Gaia deck. Wow, like, yeah, I don't know if these were, like, as, I mean, I guess this is kind of like the, like, normal gates, where, like, it's, like, a lot of the same deck, and then, like, and then only after a certain point do they maybe change it up. And they are changing up a little bit, so it's not, like, completely the same deck, but there are a lot of similarities. Anyway, this deck is called Magicians of Light and Darkness, and the deck description reads, a deck that uses Dark Magician of Chaos and Magician of Chaos, spellcasters that can manipulate the forces of light and darkness. In order to use dedication through light and darkness and other ritual spell cards, you will need Dark Magician. Strategize with the goal of bringing Dark Magician onto the field. I'm thinking, if anything, my opponent gets to use different decks, like much more different decks for duels, and I'm kind of forced with using like very similar decks. So I don't know if that's right. Like, why does my opponent get to like try out all these different strategies? I'm kind of forced with using similar decks. I mean, this one does incorporate the Dark Magician, which is kind of cool. And also the skilled Dark Magician to go along with that. Oh yeah, and also a few other Dark Magician sport cards. Okay, cool. So yeah, like Dark Magic Current for summoning out of the deck, 1,000 Knives for destroying a monster. Although, why use that when you can just use Raigeki? And I mean, no. It's because you can search it. That's right. Yeah, so it may seem like 1,000 Knives, and it only destroys one monster, but the important thing is you can search it. So that's why people use it, because you can search it. And it's very big when you can actually, when you can search it. Dark Magic Attack, though, like, is basically Hoppy's Feather Duster, which some people already want to play, and so it's even better when you can search it. This is unfortunately just a victim of older card symptoms. I'm not sure if, I mean, they might have just made it destroy all monsters if this is if this was to be a newer card, because I don't think it would be that powerful to have a searchable Raigeki, but this is basically what you're stuck with, so this is basically what you play since it's searchable. And then, of course, Ancient Rules is very good for special summoning out your 2 high-level normal monsters, also the Dark Magician, so, I mean, it's kind of like a worse Eternal Soul that can also search out the Dark Magician. That has more targets, but, I mean, at least it's not a trap, so there's that. Though this is, a continuous trap, so there's that. Summoner's Art for such an amount. Paw of Extravagance for drawing you cards. And the X deck doesn't really matter. And even if you do banish cards, you're probably not going to be banishing a ton of like the same card. So even if you want to go into X deck, you'll probably still have the cards you want to go into. I think you can go into all of these, but if not, they're there just so you can, like, yeah, I think you should be able to go into all of them, because I know how sometimes they just have a card there. I feel like they just have a card there sometimes just to have like fodder for the pot, just to make it a complete full X deck, so that like you're not as likely to pitch the ones that you really care about, which I mean can sometimes be useful, but I still feel like it's a better idea to only put in cards that you're actually going to be using, because like even if you don't think you're ever going to go into it, like I think like it's better to put that in rather than a card you're literally never going to go into because you just don't have the means. I mean, I don't know, back in the day people were doing that, but that was just because they weren't gonna go into X deck at all. But I don't know, like maybe like even for decks like Monarch, maybe like would do good playing cards that like maybe if they needed to, they could go into. Like if worse comes to worse, at least maybe the X deck could help them out of it. I don't know. Now I think about it, because I mean, why not? Like, if you're gonna be putting in cards into your X deck just because anyway, you might as well just do that. I mean, it might cost you a bit more money, besides just using bulk cards, but maybe like you could try getting those cards anyway that maybe could be staples for other decks, and then in the meantime you could just use bulk cards, but try to work your way up to something like that. And I mean, like, it's even easier for this game because there's a lot of like pretty good generic like rares and normals even. So yeah. Anyway, spell shattering arrow for destroying spells specifically. This is pretty bad. I mean, like, the burn, it's not really gonna matter. Like, I mean, like, you can only destroy specific cards, and the burn, like, doesn't matter. It's such a bad card. Like, I mean, they try to make up for it with the burn, but like, burning an opponent, like, I mean, you can just get them game like with like through bow damage. I mean, maybe for a deck that actually cares about burn, but I don't think this deck's like main, unless your main goal is to burn, like, And even then, like, there's probably better cards to play, and she probably wouldn't play this because, I mean, yeah, not every opponent is going to even have face-up spells. And I mean, you could activate in response to your opponent playing a normal spell, but then that's only 500 damage. And then this one, contribute Dark Magician to get out your Dark Magician of Chaos. To get some of your spells back. Although it's been nerfed a little bit, but it's still not too bad. Because now instead of getting it back right away, it's during the end phase. Chaos Scepter Blast. Yeah, this banishes a card face down, so that's not too bad. You get to pick any card. And it even has like an effect if your opponent wants, like, tries to destroy it. So yeah, it's pretty good. Like, if you're playing level 8 or higher spellcasters, like, I don't see why not play this card. Like, that's a really good form of removal. It doesn't even target. I suppose since it's pretty restrictive though, like, that may be why not many people play it. Even in maybe decks that can actually use it. But like, maybe if you can like go into like a level 8 or higher pretty easily, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. Fusion summoning, basically your Dark Magician fusions, so that's not too bad. The ones that call for fusion for Dark Magician. Or you could even do like Magician of Chaos. I'm not sure if you can do Archfiend's Awakening though. Mere Force, Destruction. Magical Hats is pretty fun. Magical Hats is pretty fun when you're playing with cards that like when you're playing with spells and traps that like have effects when they're destroyed. By like card effects, but I'm not sure if this like deck is really playing those kinds of cards, so it's probably not going to be as good, but I mean, still can keep a monster from being destroyed, so there's that. But it's more fun when you're actually playing with spells and traps that have effects upon being destroyed. And then Curse of Dragonfire. Pretty much should I know what it does, but in case you don't, there's the effect once again. It's basically the makes it so you don't really need to play a bunch of fusion spells, which is pretty nice. Also destroying field spells, getting rid of nasty field spells on the opponent's side of the field. Which is good because I hear my opponent's playing Toon, so they're probably playing Toon Kingdom. And then this searches for your on-theme spells and traps for the Gaia Dragon archetype. Yeah, and then also can negate effects. Swift Gaia can be a free normal summon. And then Gaia the Magical Knight. Once again, pretty much free normal summon, but has a little bit more upside than the regular. And they have the same attack and offense too. And then this one can make it a little bit easier to fusion summon. Also can recur spells and traps. Archfiend card basically acts as like your an extra 3 copies of Summon Skull. Although I'm not sure how much that matters. Actually, it does kind of matter because you're playing with this card. Oh wait, no. Yeah, and like this card can actually bring back the fusion. And then that way, like, but this one already calls for Summon Skull, so it's not like you can leave without the means. But I guess it's cool that it can also special summon out the fusion. Also, this one can special summon out the ritual, so that's So like you can kind of like keep a, so you can actually kind of keep a cycle going, like because you can like use this to special summon out the ritual, and then when the ritual is destroyed, you can special summon out your fusion, and then just keep going. So that's kind of cool that you can create a loop out of that. And then this one destroys something by lowering attack. So if you want to destroy multiple things, you're probably going to want to attack first. Try to do that. And if you can have multiple attacks, that's pretty good. Like then like you can get its attack up higher, because it does, its ability to gain attack is in once per turn, although this deck doesn't seem to have a way to give it multiple attacks. But and then Dark Magician Dragon Knight protects your spells and traps, and then Dark Cavalry is another negator. Also can gain a bunch of attack if there's a bunch of spells and traps on the field in the graveyards, which is good because you're playing a lot of spells, so you could probably just get a bunch of spells into your graveyard pretty quickly. So yeah, and then there's the deck. Yep. Okay. Okay, so now I guess I could do the cycle for those who want to see them all, and then I'll quickly do actually I don't know if I really have time for the pack opening, so I think like this was kind of good enough. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the deck overview. Thank you all who stayed for that. Also, thank you to those who thank you everyone for not abandoning me just because I miss a day. Occasionally I do that. I guess I can't do every day. I'm sorry, things come up. I mean, you already knew this if you've been with me long enough, because I usually take off days for when it comes to like trips and stuff. So I'm not like a channel that's like determined to do every single day. I just try, and if I fail, I'm okay with it. But I try not to fail a lot. But yeah, I'll leave these thank yous in the description, as well as the verse, and I'll also leave the verse in discussion in the description for anyone who wants easy access to that, either to see what other people are saying or maybe to leave a comment of your own. And that'll do it for the video. Now I'll move on to the outro.